Welcome to the presentation on the Young Professionals Career Engagement Program. We appreciate your interest and your work with the program. My name is Scott Pond. Joining me today are Eric Decker, Mike Manmoring, John Carlisle, Elder Ethan Porcaro, and Taylor Mead. Together, we make up the program development team. The purpose of this webinar is to provide instructions to our regional specialists, our regional facilitators, our coaches and mentors as to how to thrive in your position. Each topic that we discuss today will have its own link for your easy access. And virtually everything that we talk about today is also contained on our website at byums-mentoring.byu.edu. The website is filled with tools to help you market and manage the program, plus be a great mentor and coach. Might also point out that we have a drop-down language menu on each page, so you can select which language you would like to see the text in. This is truly a community effort and a labor of love. It's designed to help young people explore and jumpstart successful careers. Mentoring is one of the core objectives of the BYU Management Society. So as such, we've developed our program to help seasoned professionals give back to their professions and to help the next generation to succeed. No association with BYU is required to participate in the program in any capacity. In addition, all faiths are welcome. As a community of caring individuals, our only goal is to be a resource to help young adults succeed in life. There's no cost to participate in the program. As a matter of fact, all of the efforts of this program are done by volunteers. Who's our target market? Well, our program is available to single and married individuals ages 16 to 35. It is available to individuals seeking blue-collar professions such as a plumber, electrician, a chef, a hairstylist, or white-collar professions such as a teacher, lawyer, financial advisor, or doctor. And when we say 16 to 35, those are soft numbers. It's up to the region and exactly what ages you'd like to accept into the program. So what groups are strong candidates for the program? Individuals just exploring different careers, or perhaps they haven't settled on an education path, they need more information. Individuals seeking to jumpstart their careers. So they've done their academic work, now they're ready to get their careers online. Recently returned missionaries. In my plan for returned missionaries, it's important for them to link up with a mentor, and we can help with that. Pathway students and graduates, self-reliance participants, and launching leaders graduates. So the mission of our program is to help individuals jumpstart successful careers with seasoned professionals in their career field of interest. So these professionals, they share their career experiences and knowledge to help them enter the workforce as confident, committed, and ethical professionals. What we found is that individuals can often struggle with the transition from their formal education years to a substantive career. They may do well in school, but oftentimes have difficulty connecting with professionals in their chosen career field of interest. This disconnect may cause them to not realize their full career and earnings potential. They may also put off critical life decisions, such as serious dating or marriage, because of concerns about supporting a family. So if we can help them launch a successful career, we can also help them address some of these issues. So how does the program benefit our mentees? It helps them to perhaps settle onto a career path by connecting with experienced professionals. We've been counseled to prepare every needful thing, and the program supports individuals with a desire to build a career that is goal-oriented, financially rewarding, and engaging. It also helps these individuals to enter the workforce. They want to work. People want to work, and it's important for them to work. It allows individuals the opportunity to explore various careers. Before choosing an education path, that requires a lot of time, energy, and money. It also helps individuals to develop meaningful careers that can help them move forward in their critical life steps. How does our program benefit communities? Well, first of all, there's the home country benefit. By helping individuals secure good employment or start new businesses in their home country, we build upon the country's intellectual capacity, employment base, and economy. A strong economy can create a vibrant and productive society, providing a stable base to generate new employment opportunities. It positively influences the community by helping young people to become energized and focused and productive citizens. It engages business and civic leaders' interaction with young professionals in the community, and it provides a proven program in which professionals in the community mentor individuals. How do coaches and mentors benefit? Well, it allows them to give back to their profession while assisting the next generation to successfully transition from their academic years to their professional careers. By giving back, our chapter members can experience the joy of helping others to move forward in their lives. Again, this is a labor of love. Chapter members serve young adults with the single goal of blessing their lives and helping them to launch successful careers. How does one register as a young professional or a career or mentor? Just go to the website and click on the menu from the hamburger that says registration, and then select the home region that you have. Now we'll have an opportunity to hear from John Carlisle that will discuss the roles and responsibilities of the regional specialists and regional facilitators.
Thank you, Scott. For regional specialists and regional facilitators, they should have been able to receive a document through email regarding their responsibilities and their duties as a regional specialist or regional facilitator. If that email has gotten lost or you need that sent again, feel free to reach out to anyone on the Young Professional Career Engagement Program leadership team, and we can send those out to you. The main responsibilities of both the regional specialist, who is in charge of a certain region, is to be able to onboard a regional facilitator, as well as mentors and coaches, being able to assign those mentors and coaches to young professionals. And there's more into that in depth, but that's the general idea of those roles. The regional facilitator is to support the regional specialist in being able to take all of the young professionals that come in and register and assign them to coaches and mentors, as well as seeking out mentors and coaches in specific areas for those young professionals to get the benefit out of this program. You may want to be able to access the CRM tool. That's the customer relationship management tool that we use, and that website is ypcep.org. You can log in through your Google account, and that allows you to be able to see yourself in the program. If you are connected to a mentor or coach as a young professional, or as a mentor coach, you can see the young professionals that you are assigned. As a regional specialist or a regional facilitator, you're able to assign mentors to young professionals or coaches to young professionals in that tool. And that tool is really a help. It benefits the ability to match young professionals to the correct mentors or coaches, looking at their background, seeing what they're able to best help with for those young professionals. As far as the onboarding process for coaches and mentors, it's really reaching out to those in your networks, being able to understand and know who best fits the specific needs for the young professionals. And so finding those coaches, mentors, reaching out to people, it's something, it is a labor of love, but it's something that you can continually do to onboard people, get to know people, individuals, ask that question of if they would like to be a coach or a mentor. Many times, professionals who are in professional roles, they're looking for ways to give back. They've been able to benefit from mentors and coaches in their own experience. And so when you offer that to them, they're more than ready to come on board, and they want to just know that what they're doing in the program matters. And so as a regional specialist or a regional facilitator, being able to reach out to your networks, asking them if they're able to spend some time helping a young professional. I've been able to reach out to many of my contacts, even though some of them may not want to necessarily mentor long term, they're very willing to coach someone and help them along. And so just that helps make those connections. And I think it strengthens your own network as well. As far as the onboarding process for our young professionals, they need a lot of encouragement. This is an engagement program for them. And so if we can encourage our young professionals to stay motivated, to stay engaged, we can do that through setting up meetings, being able to provide the young professionals encouragement and support in setting up meetings, and then monitoring that progress with the mentor and coach after we've set that up, making sure that they are feeling successful in what they're doing. As far as best practices, it's really staying on top of the needs of the individuals. As a regional specialist or regional facilitator, that is a responsibility that you have to be able to touch base with those young professionals, make sure they're doing all right. Also, touch base with the mentors and coaches, making sure that the fit is as good as possible between the coach, mentor, and the young professional. This allows for any feedback to be given, and if needed, changes and reassignments to be made. As coaches and mentors, you want to be able to also be assigned young professionals. Um, this is definitely something that is hands-on. The more that you can do as a regional specialist and regional facilitator to be on the ground with a young professional, working through problems, helping them understand how they can take their inexperience and build more experience upon the things that they're working on, the goals that they have, their resumes, being able to practice the interviews. The more that you can help manage and better assign the mentors with the young professionals in the future. So by taking on young professionals and mentoring them, you benefit from practice and being able to model that for those mentors and coaches that you assign to young professionals. So take that and be able to use your own experiences to be able to help in your role as a regional specialist or a regional facilitator. It's very valuable for you to do that.
What is the difference between a regional specialist and a regional facilitator?
I think the difference between the regional specialist is they're really able to work on getting the ideas of where do we need to go next in the region, how do we onboard more groups. The regional facilitator, I think, is being able to really work on the mentors and the coaches and assigning them to the young professionals.
Okay, so one of the biggest responsibilities of the regional specialist is to build the team, right? And that team can include one or several regional facilitators. Let's go now to Taylor. She's one of our greatest success stories. So Taylor, can you talk about your experience as a young professional and what it's meant for you?
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm in addition to being on this team, I'm a young professional in the program. And just like the ways I've worked with my mentors and stuff has been kind of, I actually have multiple. And so we each kind of communicate in different ways. Email, of course, is the biggest one, and that's kind of how you get started. But we also will either do weekly meetings on one mentor. With other mentors, it'll just be an email check-in, or we'll um, set up a specific time to meet with an agenda depending on how busy the mentor is, how busy I am. trying to get our schedules matched up. I've also in the past had a mentor. Since we were in the same town, he actually took me to a bunch of networking events. So I was able to meet a lot of people around town, professionals that I wouldn't have met otherwise, and just kind of get into different industries, explore a little bit, see what it's like to talk to people out there and get my name out there, get experience with networking, especially as someone who's more introverted. Having someone there to introduce you to other people can be a nice advantage to the program.
Well, Taylor, you've been an important member of our program development team. One of the responsibilities that you took was to build the user guide for our customer relationship management CRM. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So the user guide is part of our CRM. So you'll find that when you go into your CRM account, it's going to be on the sidebar of the account. We do have it divided up depending on role. So you will have specific tips and instructions available depending on what role you have in the program. You can go in, it'll tell you how to access each section of it, how to update your young professionals information if necessary, kind of track everything that you're doing. All the information you need for how-tos and tips and tricks is going to be in that user guide, and that'll help you get along. And if there's anything that's not in there that answers your question, there is a feedback in the CRM. You can let us know and we can add that in. And our goal is to keep it as clear and concise as possible, to give you the information you need so that everything can work smoothly.
Well, thank you, Taylor. So let's move on to Elder Picaro. Elder Picaro is a service missionary who has taken on the assignment of building out our CRM. Elder Picaro, can you talk about your experience in joining the program as a service missionary, and then also what you've done to develop the CRM?
Yeah, for sure. So, as a service missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I am able to have assignments where I use my specific talents and abilities to be able to bring productivity and light to the world through service rather than teaching. Throughout my life, through high school, and into my mission, I have had a love for computer science, programming, designing websites, creating tools, and having a service assignment on my mission has allowed me to have an opportunity to work on the customer relationship management tool for the Young Professional Career Engagement Program. I spend a lot of time on all the different aspects of creating the tool. I help with the feedback when someone has an issue. I'm a team lead for a lot of the development. CRM was developed custom due to some of the project requirements we had, and being able to create it custom to the needs of the Young Professional Career Engagement Program has allowed us to get things done we wouldn't have otherwise been able to. Having this great team to work on and be closely connected to has allowed us to have a really quick feedback response type loop. Someone has an issue, I'm able to fix it. And since I have a full-time service missionary, I'm able to work on this when needed. I'm very appreciative of this opportunity to practice my work as a web developer. I haven't attended BYU, I haven't taken any college classes, but I've had a love for this, and that also is part of the heart of the Young Professional Career Engagement Program, is being able to apply your interests and talents into practicality with the help of people. And in this case, although I'm not directly in the program, that same role is fulfilled, and it's been very special, and it's been a great project, and it's going to also provide a balance of me and my other service assignments as a mission, and my future and the future of the others I hope to help while working on this.
So Elder Picaro, can you just describe briefly how you got the assignment to work on this project?
Yeah, so it was funny. As I was preparing for becoming a service missionary, Eric on our development team is one of the leaders who's helping me coordinate the onboarding process for my mission when that happened. And he came to me and said, hey, we're running this thing. I've been kind of working on development, but we're going to need someone to kind of come on this full time. And create this in a way it can be manageable and hopefully even gain others on our development team. So Eric, who's going to speak later, was a big help, and I was excited to jump right in. I'm one of the kinds of people who it's hard for me to wait when I have an opportunity to come up. It's like, okay, all this onboarding stuff, but I was able to jump straight in and begin working on this, and that's something that was very special to me.
Well, we certainly appreciate all of your efforts. Both you and Taylor, as young adults, are doing a fantastic job. We couldn't have this program without you. So let's move on to Eric Decker, and Eric will help us to understand our secret weapon, the informational interview.
We've all seen the story, or the sad, sad story of watching someone graduate from either a college degree or a trade school, and they get out and they start working at it and realize they hate it. Or they realize there isn't any work there and it's not good for their family. So our secret weapon in the informational interview is doing your homework before you get assigned real homework. And what we can do as coaches and mentors is use our extensive network to join together young professionals with professionals already in some of their areas of interest, so that they can have conversations of deep meaning to help them understand, is that something that, one, I would be interested in? Is it something that could help me provide for my family in the way that I want to provide for my family? And hopefully even get some shadowing time and some opportunity to see if they would even be good at it. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of things to go over. Yeah, Scott, you said it's a secret weapon. It truly is. I remember going through school with one individual who did way more homework before the semester started than any of us ever did. And they were really getting an understanding for which professors to take and how they would help them in their professional career. And then I look back later and they're extremely successful, but it was always surprising to me to see that legwork and that homework ahead of time had incredible results. So it truly is a secret weapon. You need to do, these young professionals need to do between 8 and 12 interviews, and they don't have to be long, but we'll find that they need to do the legwork, because talking to one individual may not be representative of the area that they're going in. And the more, the merrier. Plus, the more individuals the young professionals can speak with, the better their communication skills will grow, the better their listening skills will grow, because it's not natural for young people anymore to talk to adults. They text people. They just don't interact one-on-one, and we want to give them that experience. In person better, but it doesn't have to be in person. It can be done virtually. Just we want to get them between 8 and 12. Also, we need to reduce their anxiety by clarifying what it isn't. It's a conversation. It's not a job interview. And so they need to not worry too much about having that interaction. Just explain to them, this is just truly you're having a conversation. And what the young people don't realize is just how willing and loving most people are, and they want to give back and they want to share. And let them know that it's just a conversation. Emphasize with them too that it's not about getting a job. In fact, there's the no job rule. You're not supposed to be doing an informational interview and then ask, what are the job openings there? However, many times after the informational interview, the person being interviewed will actually follow up with, hey, we have an internship going on. Would you be interested in that? So there are many times jobs that get opened up, but the point of the informational interview is not to not to obtain that job, is to learn about the profession that they'll be going in. The doing the informational interview is also just really good for practicing, and it gets the nerves away from them, and they're ready to prepare for when an actual job interview does occur. And you know, I already mentioned there are hidden jobs out there. We've all heard that most of the jobs that are out there aren't posted, and they come through word of mouth. So the more people that our young people can get to know, the more these hidden jobs can be made available for them. So extremely important. It checks a lot of the boxes in terms of their professional growth, also helps their networking, and helps them to realize, is this something that I really want to do? Invaluable. Do not skip that step. Would you like me to show where to find these resources, Scott, on the website?
Sure, that'd be great.
I can go ahead and do that right now. All right, so I'm on the BYU mentoring on the website. If you come up, it's a fairly extensive website. There are a lot of links. A lot of the links are the same material, so it's pretty natural as you go through it. If you go into this little sidebar here and come up, you'll find coaching and mentoring resources. When that pulls up, you'll see various things in here, but where you want to go is underneath here. It'll outline what is available in there, and if you click on learn more, you'll see a lot of videos, what you can do. And Scott has been very busy in creating many videos. Notice that underneath each one of those is also the script for what's in there. So if English isn't your first language, you'll be able to see what was said, as well as use some of the language translation facilities in YouTube. But down underneath here, there are a lot of different guides, quite a few of them, as well as there is a guide on informational interviews. When you click into here, it will even give you a template for how to go about it. And that works out quite nicely.
When you are a coach or a mentor, you're standing alongside that young professional, and you're saying, we're going to walk this path together, and you're going to be successful. So don't get down, don't get discouraged. We're going to help you move through this. And we've had many instances in the program exactly when that's happened, where someone's been discouraged and we're able to help them to keep going. I think it's so different. Informational interviews and having a coach and a mentor is so different from a job interview, because if you think about it, a job interview, that person is on the other side of the table from you, and they're expecting you to know that that role is exactly what you want, but maybe you don't know. So a coach and a mentor is on the same side of the table as you, and you can ask them questions like, why is this? You know, are there other roles for me to consider? Or what do you like about what you do? And what do you not like about what you do? So it's, we try to leapfrog over HR and get you directly to the decision makers, which I think is helpful. All right, so now we are going to go to Mike Manwaring, and he'll talk about coaches and mentors.
Okay, so now you're all excited. You're saying, I want to get involved, but how do I get involved, right? Well, what do I do? What's my options here? And so if we've been talking about, really there's two options, and you can go to our website to see, but being a coach or a mentor, or maybe even both, right? So if you go to our website, it kind of describes what we believe a coach should be responsible for and what a mentor should be responsible for. A coach is someone that helps with different career paths. So you don't necessarily need to be the career path that that individual, that young professional is looking to do. So I'm a retired tax professional, right? I could help somebody that's interested in HVAC or electrical or finance with their coaching, right? Because that's what I'm looking to do. I'm helping them with multiple careers that they're interested in. I help them with their resume, with mock interviews. So I've done, as a coach, I've done multiple mock interviews, right? What kind of questions should they be asking? What kind of questions should they be expecting? You know, all part of that, you know, interviewing process, and then connecting them with these mentors, right? I think that's one of the most important things that a coach can do is to help those individuals, help these young professionals connect with those mentors. So what is a mentor then? If a coach is somebody that's helping them with multiple career paths, a mentor is somebody that is specific to that industry that they're interested in. So if somebody was interested in being a tax accountant, they could reach out to me, right? And I could help them with becoming a tax accountant. If it was Scott, maybe on the finance side, right? And so looking at deep, specific things that you can share career stories, career advice in what your career relates to. Okay. So once you've decided, then what do you do, right? Okay, I want to do both, right? We suggest you do both. But if you do both, how do I sign up? So you go to the mentoring website and there's a thing called coaches/registration. You can click on there and it'll send you to a link for the Young Professional Career Engagement Program registration form. And you can click in there, put your information. Scott talked a little bit about this before, but the region you're in, your address, and some other information, maybe a link to your LinkedIn profile, etc. So we can get some general information. And then what happens, right? You start meeting with these individuals. As you start meeting with these individuals, we like you to record those meetings. So how do I record a meeting? So you can go to the ypcep.org. So as you click through that, you can select the coachee, the young professional that you're looking to things, and you can click assign activities. And as you click through that, you can select the date of the activity and the type of activity. So if you look at that scroll down thing, there's various things, right? Everything from helping a resume to having a mentoring interview, etc. You can select that activity and then you hit create activity. So it's relatively easy to create that activity, but we like to see that, right? We like to see so we know what's happening with those young professionals. As John was talking about earlier, the regional specialists can follow up and make sure that things are happening and the young professional is getting the attention that they deserve. Okay. So what if I have questions, right? I start getting into this, my coachee is asking questions, the young professional has questions that maybe I can't answer. One of the best ways is what Eric was talking about, right? Looking at the webpage. There is a ton of information out there. You can always call your regional specialist. John and his team, more than willing to answer questions, right, John? And so, reach out to those questions. And then there's a lot of other resources. And what type of questions do I get, right? As a coach, one of the typical questions I get is, say, I'm interested in this type, right? The other day I had an individual, one of my coachees, and she was looking to say, hey, I might want to be a tax accountant, or I might want to be an accountant, an auditor, or I might want to be a finance person, right? And so I was able to hook them up. So, Scott was able to talk to her about being a finance person, but I had her talk to other people about being an accountant, right? In a large firm, Big Four firm versus, a regional firm, et cetera. And having those informational interviews was able to help her clarify the decision in her mind, right? And it's not like we talked about earlier, not, I graduated, now I'm going to be a tax accountant. Now, thinking about it beforehand so she can make that determination. And so how do I get those informational interviews set up, right? Who do I talk to? And Eric's talked a little bit about this, right? But I'd say one of the best ways to do it is to look on our webpage and look for past informational interviews that have been recorded. And there's several out there. I don't know how many there are, Scott, right now, but probably over 50. Everything from a tax accountant, right, to UPS driver, to an HR professional, to a finance person, et cetera. There's a ton out there. So have them look at those, ones that have been already recorded. And if one that looks like, hey, I'm interested in talking to that person, I'm pretty sure that if you reached out to them, they would talk to you, right? So that's a great place to start.
That's on our Learn from Professionals page, right? I think you're
Exactly.
even on there. Is that correct?
I think I am, yes. And I've recorded a few of those as well, right? So, and then look at your own, as a coach, look for your own friends or network. We've talked about this earlier, but most people are willing to take a half-hour call with a young professional to help them out, right? So look at your own network and say, how can I place them with one of the young professionals? And then have them look at their own network, right? Usually if they're interested in something, like being a finance person, it's usually because they know somebody like Scott or, one of their other friends. So have them reach out to those people as well, right? Sometimes they hesitate a little bit to reach out to somebody, but help them, give them the confidence to have that reach out and have that informational interview. And then if you still can't find enough to meet Eric's 8 to 12 interview processes, right? What do? You reach out to, John or other regional people, or look into the system. I know we're developing the system so you can reach and see the other mentors that are potentially out there. Okay. What are the questions that I typically get as a coach? One is, how do I do an informational interview? Eric's talked a lot about that. How do I practice interview? Right. I think that's one thing that the young professional can really make a difference if they are very crisp on their interviewing skills, right? If they practiced, what am I going to say to the other side of the table, right? What's my story? What questions am I going to ask, right? A lot of times they ask, well, what questions do you have? And if you say, well, I don't have any questions, or I have not very good questions, right? That can set you apart. So help them practice an interview. And part of that practice really comes from doing those informational interviews, right? The more they can talk to people in their profession, the better they're going to be at taking that informational interview and translating it into a real life interview.
I agree 100%. I think research is really the key when it comes to interviewing skills. If you can show someone that you've researched their position, what's their occupation? What are the, how do you generally get to that? It's all in our guidebook, by the way, how to find different roles and what those roles do and what their cost is or the expected salaries. So go to the guidebook. I think a lot of that information is there. And what I've found is just like what Mike was saying, if you go into an interview and the interviewer asks you a few questions, and then he says to you, "What questions do you have?" And you say, "Well, I just don't have any." Well, that's not a good show. You've actually done yourself a disservice. But your questions that you ask have to be intelligent questions, meaning that they have to be based upon the research that you've done. And so I think that's really, really critical. I'd really recommend go to our website, go to the guidebook. There's a number of different sections that are in there, all the way from resume building to, selecting a career. There's informational interviews, lots of different links that you can access. And then of course you can just Google those things too, and they'll come up. Does anybody on the team have any additional comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, at times during the meeting, several people mentioned certain features or ways you can use the CRM tool. And I will say that as we refine this, some of these ways of accessing may slightly change. So I just want to point out that we do have that user guide that is linked on the sidebar on the left, like Taylor said, that will have up-to-date information. So if you're trying to do something and referencing this and it seems like it's not quite right, take a look at that user guide, because we do update that, and it goes into a lot more detail, has screenshots and whatnot, and it will be helpful and up-to-date.
Yeah, so this is really a work in progress, right? Everybody on this call knows that's true. Every meeting that we do, we talk about how we can make the program better. Any other comments?
I just wanted to talk about our why. Scott, you have many, many different success stories. And the way you recruited me into being part of this effort is you asked me to spend time with a young man and to allow him to do an informational interview and then a mock interview. And then the very next day, he was able to do an interview and got the job. That was amazing for him, but it was amazing for me too. And I felt great about it. That's why we're doing this, is to help people. So just let's always understand our why. And it's to serve, it's to help. And it just makes you feel good.
I like that. I think of us as kind of ministering angels. Sometimes we're dropped into somebody's life, and that person may feel pretty discouraged, or not know a direction to move forward. And everybody that we're going to connect them with are experienced professionals that can help move them forward. So that's true, and that's a play on the BYU, right? So I'll just kind of summarize things and let you know that we are very excited about continuing to move the program forward in a number of different places throughout the world. Our next area that we're moving into is India, and John has helped us really do a great job with that. We're also in Brazil and Colombia. Mike has helped us get into the Camorra Academy, which is in Prague, Czech Republic. We just added Ecuador. We're also in Mexico and Central America. The Philippines is doing a great job. South America, United Kingdom has a really cool program that they're doing. John is in charge of the United States and Canada. And actually, we just added Vietnam also. And they're doing a spectacular job. So I would just say, if you're not in that list, think about being a regional specialist and helping us to move the program forward. You can serve in the program in a number of different capacities. You can take more of an administrative role, or you can take a coaching or mentorship role, or be both a coach and mentor. I think we're all coaches and mentors here. So if you have questions on the website, there is you can select contact us, and there's a form that you would fill out, or you're welcome to reach out to me directly. It's scott.pann, like Paul, Apple, never, @gmail.com. So just want to thank each of the members of our program development team for all the work that they've done, and the many hours of service that they put into it. We're making a difference in people's lives. So thank you for everything that you've done. Any other comments before we close? Okay, thanks everybody. Take care.